Family, this image that you're seeing is the exact point where things went left for Dr. Umar Johnson. If you guys don't know what this picture, where this picture came from, this is basically the clapback that Umar did to SETI. Because SETI, I believe, came at Umar, and Umar made this response video where he clapped back at SETI. This is where things went left. Now, at the time, nobody said, oh, well, who went first or who did what first. They just remember Umar Johnson going ballistic. He went so ballistic. People that weren't conscious caught on to this video and was, doing gifts, doing all kinds of stuff with this moment right here. People that weren't conscious, that didn't know who Dr. Umar Johnson was, figured out real soon who he was. This is what I'm seeing with Tariq Nasheed. But it's really sad to see. It's really sad to see somebody that you would consider an idol start to become a rival. It's really disheartening to see. I've been trying to kind of turn a blind eye, but it's just been way too much. Extremely too much. As I've said in my previous videos, ADOS was something that he was fully behind. There's video footage of him, if you go on his page, of him bigging up Antonio and Yvette Carnell, saying that what they're doing, he's really behind it. He's 100% behind them, right? They ask him a question. Now, remember, Umar, he kind of lashed out on people who asked him about the donations. He called people, all of this kind of ghetto connotations or negative connotations you could think about black people when you say ghetto, the type of thoughts that form in your mind, the different stereotypes. That's what Dr. Umar was saying about some of the people who wouldn't donate extra money to his school, the FDMG Academy. So what you see is a guy whose ego got to a point where he got so hyped, he let it get so much to his head that when he went ballistic, he didn't care about getting things right. He just wanted to be right at any expense. And he was talking about Umar Johnson was talking about SETI's complexion. He was just going in. He was completely out of character. Right? And this is one of the greatest speakers. I would give Umar his props. He's one of the greatest speakers to ever grace this whole topic of pro-blackness. He's an incredible speaker. He has a gift. He knows how to speak. That is his gift. And that is the reason why he still gets booked and he goes across the country and around the world and he does his different speaking events. So what I'm starting to notice is Tariq kind of becoming another version of Umar. Now, I won't say that Tariq Nasheed is scamming, okay? I won't necessarily call him a grifter because you see that word being thrown out a lot. But I will say that he is a person that he takes advantage. He takes advantage of opportunities that people don't really take advantage of. So he's more of an opportunist. I will say that he's an opportunist. I will say that he's a huckster. And you need to look up that definition of huckster. He is a huckster. I won't say grifter, but he is a huckster. He has questionable ways of marketing things or marketing products that are questionable to kind of make them seem more important than what they actually are. And he's skilled at it. And it's sad to see one of your idols, people that you idolize, kind of fall off and have that Umar moment where they're just like, nothing that they're saying. And to be honest, it's probably worse than an Umar moment. It's probably worse than the Umar moment because the stuff that he is throwing out here is 100% conspiracy theory. It's not grounded on any facts. He said that ADOS is an LGBT-led organization. Now, when have you ever heard Yvette Carnell, the person who kind of gained this popularity through social media by doing these commentary videos about where Black people need to go as far as lining up around lineage, kind of separating themselves from the African identity and being 100% American first. That was her thing. I will give her that. She's always been consistent. She's always been the same person that she was when she formed the whole ADOS movement. So I have to give her props for that. She's been consistent. But Tariq has hopped around from ideology to ideology. Okay? He has been on this whole thing about Pan-Africanism because if you went to his website, Melanoid Nation, and you kind of looked at the whole, what the website was about, it was about, melanoid people globally, right? And he's kind of jumped from one hot thing to the next hot thing. And I believe that they had a right to question him. Hey, look, man, why are you throwing this conference? Because they're conflating the two. You're saying FBA, ADOS interchangeably, but at the same time, you're like, oh, I'm bringing people over here who don't quite line up with the ideology of Yvette and Tone Talks, Antonio Moore. Okay, he is completely just losing it, having a Kanye West type of meltdown because they asked him a question. And remember what I said earlier about Umar, when people asked him about the funds and he just lashed out on people for even bringing up the question. He's like, I haven't stole no money, and blah, 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 blah. Y'all spend this much money on hair. Y'all spend this much money on Cadillacs. Y'all spend this much money on Jordans. But y'all dusty Negroes ain't got enough money to put towards your kids' education. And basically, I'm helping everybody, and I'm not seeing no kind of reward for it. So he kind of would go on these tangents. And now you see Tariq Nasheed kind of taking a page out of Umar Johnson's book and now calling people who identify as ADOS something 2 weeks ago he was fully behind. I could even say a week ago. A week ago, he was fully behind. He was 100%. Oh, I'm down with Yvette Carnell. I'm down with Antonio Moore. Love what they're doing. To now, 100% being against anything the ADOS is pushing. Like they're just completely this rogue organization. And he is siding with the white supremacists and the coons, raccoons, I'm talking about. I don't want to get no YouTube strike. And he's siding with the raccoons about, oh yeah, ADOS is this and ADOS is that. He's saying that the ADOS is a movement that's led by the LGBTQ. He's saying that, oh, they're a front for the Democratic Party. They're Democratic. They're basically shields for the Democratic Party. They're saying, oh, Yvette is telling them to vote Democratic down. She wants you guys to vote Democrat. That's why she got so upset about the Trump thing. Okay? Oh man, Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks, man. You know, Tone Talks, he's basically a front man for the Sinclair Group, who basically are big Trump supporters. And CBS, they have Byron in their back pocket because Judge Joe Brown told me this. He said, Judge Joe Brown told me that the 1866 law, that's not really going to affect black people. So that's just a con game that they're running on you guys. And ADOS group, man, they're just, oh my God. And none of the arguments are rational. So let's break it down. Okay? It's becoming more and more crazier. He just accused this dude named Jamion B. Fowler, who's on Twitter, who's pretty much a lot of ADOS dudes have already followed him. He's kind of the guy that when politicians come to the town, he is confronting them. He is asking them questions specifically aimed about ADOS, American descendants of slavery. Okay, he's specifically asking questions about ADOS. What is your take on this? Are you for reparations or are you not? And Tariq Nasheed was giving this dude props. Yeah, that dude over there, he's a writer. He's a writer. Now he's an agent. They had some kind of thing on Twitter unfold where Tariq Nasheed was accusing a guy of being an agent. I remember this is around the time I started to first listen to Tariq. There was some kind of event in South Carolina. There was some woman, of course, she was probably truly an agent, a provocateur. And she was really loud. And it was some dude named, I forget what his name is, but he was from South Carolina. He was this big dude. And basically, they were acting as her like bodyguards. And she was just trying to fight Tariq Nasheed. But Tariq Nasheed was trying to get out of there with whatever security they had. Now, this Jamion B. Fowler dude, where he made a mistake was he kind of shared this video of this woman kind of coming at Tariq. And this lady was an agent. Okay, she was, if not an agent, she was just a mentally unstable woman. I'll just say that. I won't say she's an agent, but she was a mentally unstable woman who basically was cat shit crazy and over emotional and just showed signs of being an agent. So Jamion was saying that, hey, I actually did security for you. I was one of the guys that was trying to help you. I wasn't one of the guys that was with them. That's why you see me in the cut. And Tariq was taking pictures and circling him and saying, yeah, you was with them. You was around. He's like, dude, I was around them. I wasn't with them. I was trying to defend you. So now he's jumped way off of this thing and he's like, yeah, you were an agent sent by ADOS. Well, hell, ADOS didn't exist back then. The catchphrase didn't exist by then. It's been around since, since Dr. Claude Anderson phrased a different term. But this is nothing new. All of the arguments that we're having, this is nothing new. If you study history, this has already happened before. Okay, but Black American patriotism, we're talking about what Frederick Douglass was talking about. So Black American patriotism is just, it's nothing new. We're just putting a different name on it. So what I'm saying is he's coming up with all of these conspiracy theories. Oh, they stole the term descendant of slaves from this politician over here who ran for office back in 2012. It's like, dude, okay, let's break it down. Okay, you say that Yvette is LGBTQ organization. Okay, Yvette Carnell hasn't really talked about LGBTQ anything. She hasn't bashed the LGBTQ. She hasn't done any kind of commentary that somebody who was from the LGBTQ would consider offensive or derogatory. Okay. Now, on the other hand, you've never heard her talk about LGBTQ rights or putting that to the front. She's never said that. Now, I've said, I do believe that Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks lean to the left. And the reason that they do that is because 80% of black people, possibly even more, vote Democrat. Okay? This is a statistical fact. So when she's telling you vote Democratic down, what she's saying is if you're already a registered Democrat, because more than likely you probably voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and you registered as a Democrat before your woke days, you was hoping that we would get this first black president and we was all kind of just drinking the Kool-Aid. Okay, now when you go to vote, instead of voting in a Democrat, you just write ADOS down the line. Now, the propositions and measures, things that are happening locally. Say, for instance, there is a proposition that is being proposed where they're talking about raising the rent. Owners have the right to raise the rent. There's no rent control. That's pretty important. That's going to affect you as a person, as a human being. You get what I'm saying? So you need to get down there and vote. The problem is, though, a lot of people who listen to Tariq, including me, don't believe in voting because he had this whole no reparations, no vote. So a lot of us aren't politically knowledgeable about how politics works. And I've always been the person to kind of commend Yvette Carnell Tone Talks because that's their specialty. That's their field, right? And you got to get down there and vote because these things are going to affect you one way or the other. There's certain things that aren't left wing or right wing. They're just things on the ballot for you to vote for. Certain people, councilmen, councilwomen, people that are just trying to make a way into politics. And if you know that a person in your neighborhood is doing grassroots work, get off the fucking internet, get off the screen, take your ass around, go to a couple, city hall meetings or whatever, and meet some people that actually live in your neighborhood and make a difference in your own neighborhood instead of always being on the internet hashtagging. You'll see that voting is kind of important. I'm not saying left wing or right wing, but just to go over there and kind of get your name out there. So Democratic down is not her saying that you should be a Democrat and you should vote Democrat and you should vote down. Her thing is you're probably already a registered Democrat. So you need to vote down the ballot ADOS, 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 ADOS. Okay, this proposition, I'm voting this, whatever, I'm voting for this, I'm voting for this council person. I don't understand what people are so confused about, right? So then we have this 1866 stuff where he's listening to Judge Joe Brown. Now you need to go to We All Be, that YouTube channel, and listen to what Judge Joe Brown is saying. He totally mischaracterizes what ADOS is. Is this a person that you really want to take advice from? And then he's one of these guys who kind of takes whatever he thinks that something is, and mind you, this guy is against reparations. This is what he says. Go to We All Be TV, go to We All Be's latest video, and go watch that video, okay? All right, this dude is against reparations. He's not a person that's big on fighting white supremacy, okay? And this dude, like I said, Judge Joe Brown has been suspect. You can go, you can go look at those videos on We All Be TV and look at the people that are commenting. Are these people that read books? Are these people that read newspapers? Are these people that are really smart? Or are they just going off of anything that this man says? The 1866 civil rights, it will affect you. It will. Tariq even retweeted some guy who he thought was criticizing Byron Allen, but the guy at the end was just basically saying he was mad at Byron Allen for bringing up the civil rights law to put black people in a situation where it could harm them. So he wasn't saying that it wouldn't harm black people. Tariq is saying it won't affect black people because this only deals with black contractors. But the guy that he retweeted towards the end of the thread says, yes, this will harm black people. And he's only doing this because he has corporate interests. This is the only reason why Byron Allen is doing this. But what you don't understand is anytime that you bring forth a lawsuit, you're going to have to bring forth some kind of law that let's just say if it's a racial discrimination law, you are going to have to bring up that 1866 law. You are. That's what the lawyers are going to argue in the court. So by one end, you say they're funded by the Democrats. They're basically brought in by the Democrats. But at the same time, in another breath, you're saying that they're Republicans, that they're basically fronting for Sinclair Group. Which one of the conspiracies are you going to use? You're just completely going off of the rails. You're losing it, man. It's like, I can't even support you. And I suspect that anybody that's supporting this clothing brand, yes, FBA is a clothing brand. It is nothing else. And you're going to go to this foundational Black American conference that's basically going to be a big ass swap meet where you have a bunch of these people that he had in hidden colors trying to sell whatever they're trying to sell, trying to just basically blow hot air, and nothing's going to get done. Because guess what? Tariq said out of his own mouth that the ADOS movement is nothing but agents and suspects and their politics and their group. You're going to need a political group to kind of go up against whatever you're trying to get. You're trying to get tangibles. You're gonna have to have a political group. It's a political fight, and that's where Yvette Carnell got him, because she's like, it is a political fight. You're gonna have to get up off your ass. You're gonna have to get off the phone. You're gonna have to go vote. You're gonna have to go attend certain. You're gonna have to organize. And now that I think about it, Tariq has never given props to any grassroots movements. He's completely turned his back on the RBG community. These are grassroots led movements, and you're just completely crapping on them. I'm starting to think, damn, was Cobra right or what? Do I need to kind of reevaluate everything? Because I was so into this dude, I was so listening to everything that this dude said, I was just writing people off left and right. Okay, but I'm seeing this and I'm just like, man, this is really sad. This is really sad when you see your idols become your rivals and they come up with all of this bogus flim-flam conspiracy talk. You got to back up the stuff that you're saying. Just 2 weeks ago, oh, I'm 100% behind them. And now you and your clothing brand, you're out here against ADOS. And all of his foolish people that are following him are basically, yeah, Tariq, you're right, man. Yeah, I seen her on a flyer with Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, man. Yeah, dude, I seen Tone Talks. He like retweeted Bernie Sanders, man. So that must mean Killer Mike is an agent too, right? Because Killer Mike, oh, he's one of the biggest Bernie supporters. And Bernie let it be known that, hey, he does not support reparations. And Tone Talks, I ain't gonna lie, he was bigging up Bernie Sanders, which I was like, this is right now ain't the right time. Bernie Sanders, he ain't about reparations, so you really shouldn't be bigging him up. But I I did see what's homegirl's name? Tezlyn Figaro. Solid. She had some kind of discrimination or some kind of case against Bernie Sanders. And she was like, man, this is not the move, Tone. But Tezlyn Figaro, I like her. I like her commentary. I think she's fair and she's balanced. Okay, so yeah, man, it's really sad to see one of your idols fall off like this. And he's jumping. You could tell that the guy is stressed out about this, right? And look, to all the people that say, why are we fighting for Byron Allen? Because, they always go in on black celebrities. They always go in on black celebrities who kind of like LeBron James. They go in on black celebrities and say, what do we owe the billionaire black celebrity? But they haven't went in on Byron Allen. What has Bill Cosby ever done for black people? Ask yourself that. But he was defending a convicted rapist, Bill Cosby. And we kind of was all, some of us, I was kind of had some trepidation like, look, I don't know about defending no rapist, dog. I don't know about all that. But he was defending Bill Cosby tooth and nail. And what does that have to do with black people? Bill Cosby, unfortunately, he was hanging around a lot of white people. He was doing a lot of stuff that was kind of off code, and he got caught up. You see what I mean? And he's like, oh, well, they're going to do that. He's like, we got to stand up for Bill Cosby. What happened to the one big nigga rule where he says, oh, they all see us as one big nigga, so we got to kind of fight this. What happened to that rule? Now everybody, and mind you, Bill Cosby was about to buy NBC. NBC is a racist company. I'm reading a book right now that I'm going to review later on my channel that's exposing that whole Harvey Weinstein NBC cover-up. So what happened to the one big nigga theory where when you was defending Bill Cosby and basically you figure, hey, I ain't about to get in no situation where I'm around some white women or I'm about to popping pills with no white women or whatever the case, giving them Benadryl or whatever. I ain't about to do that. So how's that affect me? What happened to Bill Cosby? I mean, it's all I'm white and I say so either way, right? Just something to think about, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Diablo the Truth. I'm out. Peace, man.